Hello and welcome back to PandaINC and of course Software Inc. There are a couple of things that I want to do today. First of which is enabling hosting as one of our deal types. That is what we're going to focus on first, but after that we are going to go ahead and set up at least one new OS. I'm thinking consoles, but potentially if that all goes well, we might also set up computer OS as well, because as you can see up here we have so many rooms that just aren't being used, so we definitely have the space for it. So that is something that I want to do today, but first I want to set up a little bit of hosting. So we're going to go jump into build mode and head over here. We have a ton of room for servers if we want them, so I think that's gonna be exactly what we do. We're just gonna grab the biggest servers we can, which I believe is these big server racks, and we're just gonna set up basically an array of these to just all be for hosting, and they're going to be separate from our main servers just so that we don't have to worry about any overlap. If these get too large, then it won't be a problem, but I'm thinking we'll overspend a little bit here. This is probably going to be far more than we actually need for right now, but if we do like 2 stacks like that, that should be more than enough. We can just go ahead and select those and say connect servers. Jump back into play mode. We should be able to now go into our servers here. That is now server 0, and this is going to be our hosting server. So that is that all set up. Now we can just go ahead and accept a whole bunch of these deals. If we check that out one more time, we have 1.2 terabytes worth of bandwidth on that. That should be more than enough. Of course, it is fairly cheap and easy to just add more. It is a little bit, I think it's cheaper because we're in the city. I'm not 100% sure. Let's actually have a look. If we select move company, we see city. Internet provider cost is low. So this is actually not going to cost us very much. If we were in the rural environment, this would be more. You can see here internet provider cost is high. But because we are in the city, our internet prices are low. So we should make a decent amount of money from this. But that's not really the reason I actually want to do it. The main reason I want to do this is to try and get our business reputation up a little bit more so that we can potentially get our digital distribution going a little bit more. As we sort of publish more of our own software, we'll grab a little bit more market share, and that should hopefully incentivize some other companies to come and use our hosting, our digital distribution. But for now, this is what we're going to do. So yeah, this is at maximum going to require 4.3. That's absolutely fine. We'll just make sure the server is actually set to hosting. You can go ahead and accept that. 2.3, accept that. 2.9, accept that. How many of these are there? There are a lot. And I mean, they're all not too bad. I guess we just accept a bunch of these until we have no room left. And we'll accept the most valuable offers for sure. I wonder if it actually doesn't have a maximum, which is interesting to note. 22 gigabytes, 7.8. Actually, let's just accept all of them. Let's accept all of them and see how our server is actually going to do. So current load is 0 because we haven't pressed play yet. But if we hit play, we should see, I would love if it gave us like a total here, but I guess that's not a thing. 1.5%. So we have plenty of room left to spare. If we just let this run for a minute longer, yeah, it looks like it's pretty much stabilized at 1.5%. So we can accept basically any hosting deals that come our way. Go ahead and pause for the moment because that is not the main thing we want to do this episode. The main thing we want to do is operating systems, which means we're going to need a brand new team. And this floor is full, so it looks like we're moving up to the 4th floor now. Go ahead and go to manage teams and we'll set this up. So we need, what are we going to call this? OSC 1 and 2, I suppose. Operating system console 1 and 2. OSC 2, done. And for a console color, I actually kind of like this blue. So we're just going to go ahead and copy that for both of those teams there. And make sure we go ahead and do this before I absolutely forget and move these guys so they're not operating at the same times. We'll also set their vacations to be any time they want. And again, we can offset these so that hopefully they don't take vacations all at the same time. That should be absolutely fine. The last thing we need to do before we actually design our software is go ahead and hire some leaders for this. So I'm thinking lead designers. If we actually have a look at lead designers, we don't have, yeah, they're all terrible. They're all ordinary creativity, which is not what we want. So we're just gonna have to hire people and hope that it works out. So we'll go for lead designer, salary high, compatibility with the AV1 team. I like to do that because our AV1 team is already built, so we'll get nice people. But yes, that is the task there. HR and automation are going to be the most important things. I definitely want 3 stars on both of these. Socialization and multitasking really don't matter to me that much, but I'm going to leave them in there because, you know, it's good to have them. I don't think it would make a difference if I put them over here instead of over here, but that is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and begin looking and see what we can get. It'd be great to have someone who could do programming and design, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So I guess we're just going to go for, they're all basically the same. We have 2 modists, 1 fast, oh, actually they're all modest. They're all hypochondriacs and they're all slow eaters. The only difference is this one's a fast learner, so that's probably not a bad trait to have. We go ahead and hire Marta for the OSC1 team. Welcome in. And then we'll just hire the younger of the 2 here, I guess. We don't really care about the artist or service skill. So Melba is going to jump in OSC2. Welcome to the team. And at that point, I would like to go ahead and set them up with roles as leaders. They can do basically everything else secondarily. Don't do any art or service, but they can do programming and design. I'll actually set them up as main designers, and they can do a little bit of programming. They might level up over time. That's that sorted. Now we can go into develop software, and we are looking for operating system. And I think we want to do console. I think that's what we want to do. We do need a name for this. And I think we're going to call this, as I think someone suggested in the comments of one of the previous videos when I did ZenOS, I'm going to call this PandaOS. I think that's fine. That's a good name. It's fine. I didn't even use ChatGPT. That's from you guys. I believe that's what the suggestion was. Don't quote me on it. But yeah, that should be good. We go into manufacturing. That should be all set and ready to go. Console design. What do we want to do here? I kind of like the blue idea because we have a very blue theme. We can just randomize until we find something that we kind of like. And of course we can change the color if we want to, but that's kind of cool. That feels very Panda vibes to me. So let's go with that. What's the old console look like? No, we definitely want the new one. And of course that absolutely got rid of my design. So let's just randomize again until we get something a little bit blue, or that we like the look of. The controls for controlling how this looks are very confusing. Let's see. Oh, that's not bad. That is our console. Good to go. And we can go ahead and say new framework. This will be pan frame. Easy. Joystick. We could do this. I don't know how this works. Yeah, I don't actually know how this works. Panjoy. And we can say SCM is the SCM server. Design. Random. Just spin this around. Random. Till we get something nice. I don't mind if... Oh, that's not bad. I like that. That'll do. Design teams will be OSC. I don't know if we actually should set these as different teams, but I'm hoping that they can sort of just manage both of them at the same time. We do that. Missing level 1 hardware, that's fine. I believe we can just do that. It's only going to need 2 designers and 2 programmers, so yeah, I think we can absolutely do both of these things. And we should probably just go ahead and do vibration and motion detection. That's going to be absolutely fine. Make it as good as we possibly can. Yes, we want to continue there. That's fine. The other thing we should actually do is set up a project management for this, but we can do that after. So that's our joystick. Go into next and say, what do we want in the market? They want simplicity more than anything else. I think we should definitely enable network. I think that's going to be good. What do we have? We have cloud backup. These are all 2 stars. I'd prefer to focus on the 1-star things. We have a removable drive for customization, but no one really cares about customization at the moment. So let's see. We can go user accounts. That adds a little bit. A unified search adds a little bit of simplicity. Notifications add simplicity. And anything else that adds simplicity. Cloud backup does quite a lot. Anything else? Speech recognition also does. And anything else that just adds simplicity would be great. That does. Standardized input adds a lot, but that's a lot of wasted interest in the customization. That might be better. If we do wireless communication, that should work nicely. That's pretty much all good to go. The only thing, maybe we could add that. That's not too bad. And then if we actually go back to our joystick, can we now add, yeah, we can. We can add wireless hardware to this. And we can also make it a large battery pack, which I don't know if that, yeah. We just need the small battery pack. You can see down here, expected interest is 92 and 113 wasted if we go up to medium. We're only wasting 79 if we don't do that. If we turn, yeah, no. I think we definitely want to have all 3 on, so that's good. Develop, perfect. Next page, this should be good to go. And we can go ahead and select our OSC teams for both design and development. Perfect. No publishers. We are missing people, but that is fine because we haven't actually hired our team yet. That is going to want 8 designers, 14 programmers, and actually no artists, which is interesting. I really thought this would require some level of art, but I guess not. So that is good to know. And that should be good to go. Go ahead and set this to a project management. Yes, I want to continue. Actually, no. I want to set up a project management first because apparently I can't do that from this screen. So we'll go into project management. This will be PandaOS. Our leader will be from our OSC 1 team. That's fine. Design teams are set. Secondary dev teams is going to be... Are we using secondary dev teams actually? I can't remember. We might be using support for that, but I'm not sure. We'll double check that in just a second. Support teams, of course, are going to be our support teams, S1. Pre-marketing will be PR 1 and 2. Our post-marketing teams will be post-marketing 1, 2, and 3. Update teams will be our update team. Hopefully they can handle this because it does actually have a little bit of hardware in it, but I'm not sure. SCM will be SCM. Prototype software will be none of those. Server will be play server. Development time, we're going to give them 200%. Iteration cooldowns is 0. Updates, update tech levels, update every 1 and or 2 years. And then just check all of the boxes and make sure we do print job copies at, let's say, 250,000. It's probably a little bit overkill, but hopefully we can make it work. We do have some money in the bank, so hopefully that's not too much of an issue. If we go in here, do we have secondary dev teams? Is our update teams? That's right. That's right. Let's go in here and set that up so that our update teams can help with development if they have nothing else to do. So that should be good to go. Then we can unminimize this and say project management, yes, and that is PandaOS. So that should be all good and working. The only other thing we need to do is go into options, go to info, and leave this up here so that we can figure out how many people we actually want to hire for this job. So if we go into a manage teams now, we should be able to go to OSC 1 and 2, HR management, check everything, and we'll say best then secondary, education level 3, and we can send out 2 people at a time. And we need 14 programmers. So I'm thinking we do 10 and 5, which will give us 20 and 10. Let's go 9 and 6 instead, because we can have up to 15 people in those rooms at a time. So that should be enough, I believe. 18 is 4 more, and then 6 is 12. That's also 4 more. So that should be enough. We might have to spread these guys out over multiple rooms at some point as this gets more, you know, complicated over time. But we'll see how this goes for now. As for specializations, we need a little bit of everything. So we need system, hardware, 2D, audio. Oh, do we need 3D? Yes, 2D, 3D, audio, and network. We need everything for this team. That is going to be interesting. But that should be all set and ready to go. Traits, we're just going to turn off cup holder and forgetful as usual. And we're going to give these guys a high salary because we want a good software. So that should be ready and set to go now. We can just run the game and hope that that does well. We'll just see how that goes. We can keep an eye on our team here. And yeah, we've got 15 people on that first team already. It should jump up to 16 because our leader shouldn't count in that, I believe. If we go to manage roles here, maybe it does. That's one thing we forgot to do. We forgot to do a thing. We need to select these rooms and actually assign them. So that's OSC 1 and 2. And this room in particular is going to be, if I can select it, please. It's going to be limit room usage to leaders only. So that should fix that. We also had Chris Jones retire on the 2D1 team. They should be replaced. Absolutely no problems at all. And there we go. As soon as we get some action points here from our leader, we should see that working. We can also potentially change our lead designer as soon as that starts working as well. And I'm hoping this hosting will absolutely increase our business reputation, and it looks like it will. So that is good to see. We'll leave this run for a little bit, and we'll be back once there's an update. All right, speaking of updates, we have officially just released the phone operating system ZenOS 3. Outstanding and inspiring quality is exactly what we want to see. We've also narrowed down our creativity of Dana to 67 to 91%. So still a chance that she's inspiring creativity. I feel like she probably will be with that range, but we'll have to see. Hopefully she lands in here somewhere and not right down here. Fingers crossed. We should also check that she is still actually the lead designer. She is not. It defaulted to Isabel because she's technically considered by the game as being higher because hers has already been narrowed down. So we need to manually change this out to Dana to narrow hers down even further. We do have some other options here if she doesn't end up being inspiring in the long run, but that should be fine. And we can close that and we'll monitor how ZenOS 3 does in the long run. The other thing that I want to do real quick is get out of this so I can actually pause the game. We go back into the options of PandaOS and make sure our lead designer is set to who we want it to be. So it looks like Colby probably has the highest chance of being inspiring. No one else really is up there. It's defaulted to Sammy as his is probably narrowed down the most as the highest, but we could even put in Vaughn. Vaughn seems like they might be good. 64% to 100%. There's a good chance they're going to land above 75. So Vaughn is going to be the lead designer for that project instead. And we'll keep an eye on how that is going. We still have this problem where employees are having trouble concentrating. This time it is OSC, which is really quite interesting. My only thoughts behind this are potentially that the leader is not in this room. Like they're not going to their leader office, they're just sitting in here instead, which would be interesting because we definitely have 15 chairs in here. We go to a managed team and OSC have 16 people. But the leader should be included in that, and they should be going to this room. So I'm not sure why that is. Can we assign furniture to both of these people? No. Can't. So yeah, I'm not sure what to do about that. This is definitely set to leaders. Yeah, it's definitely set to leaders. We'll set it again just in case. But I believe that's what's happening, and that's what's causing this, is the leader is just deciding to sit in this room instead of actually going to their desk. And I don't know how to fix it. If you guys know how to make sure that the leader actually goes to their room, that would be fantastic, because I don't want to have to go in here every time a shift change happens and change the lead designer out. Yeah. Select employees in the room. There's 10 in the room right now. Who are you? You are the leader. Let's just see where they go. We also seem to have people in this office, which they shouldn't be at all. Our leader is in here. Why are you guys sitting in here? Is that why the problem is? Is that what's happening? We go in here. This is Colby, Nina, Joseph, and Colby. 2 Colbys. Marsha, Joseph, Colby. That's why. That's why they're going to unused rooms. Can I limit this to something that they can't use? Maybe switch the team to a new team. Let's do that. I think that's going to be the easiest way to do it, is just say unused and add that as a team, and we'll make that black just to like really drive home the point. And then we can select all the rooms that aren't being used, aren't assigned yet, and say that's an unused room. They can use the leader's offices if they want to, but I don't actually want them to. Let's switch this to also unused. And then we can basically do that for all of these offices that aren't assigned to teams yet. I'm glad that I figured out what that problem was. That should fix it. If we switch these teams to unused, they should all actually go to their correct offices rather than defaulting and just like finding a spare computer somewhere and using that instead. So that should hopefully solve that problem. I'm kind of glad that I actually finally figured that out, because no one in the comments seemed to know what was causing that. So if you guys are having that problem yourselves, that might be the issue. If you've built extra rooms for expansion later on and haven't assigned them to a team, there you go. Hopefully we now see that disappear. But in the meantime, we do have a manufacturing job that we can absolutely accept. This is for something. Final assembly. What are you making? What are you making? I have no idea, but that's fine. We can print it and we don't really care what they're making. More hosting, absolutely. Print job, absolutely. And we'll just continue. And yeah, no one's in the other rooms now, which is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to see. We'll see how ZenOS 3 does at the end of today. And it looks like not too bad. 8.2 million. That, of course, is not profit because we did print 250,000 copies of this. If we actually look at our releases, our Chorus Codes 5 struggled a little bit. It still cost us 200,000 in total, but ZenOS 2 and ZenOS 1 both cost us quite a lot of money because we did set up print jobs for 250,000 copies, which is very expensive. We should see that equalizing in ZenOS 3 now that we have a little bit of a following for that. So that is something to keep in mind. If you want to be a little bit more micromanaging about it, definitely order less copies to start with and then ramp them up as time goes on. But yeah, we'll keep this running, keep it moving, and we'll be back in just a little bit. We also just got a notification that buses are filling up and we should consider building parking, but they are not even close to being full in the parking lot, so I don't really know why they're complaining about that. Like, drive your cars. We even have company cars for everyone, so I'm not sure why that's the case. At some point we might need to build more parking, but for now I'm just going to ignore that notification. And it looks like we might need some more maintenance people, actually. Ah, that's probably because this isn't assigned to anyone. I believe that's the case here, and that's why that has happened. So if we have a look at our rooms, if we select this entire floor, and we say add selected rooms to group, and this is the 3rd floor, I believe. I hope. Can we actually see that somewhere? If we go into manage staff and we have maintenance, first floor and second floor, and then you are on 2 groups. Do we have more maintenance stuff? Yeah. Maintenance, 3rd floor. Is that the right floor? No. 4th floor? Yeah, there we go. So we need to add that to the 4th floor. Add selected room to group 4th floor, and add selected room to group 4th floor. Hopefully that now includes that. If we go back into manage staff and we see this person on the 4th floor, that should now be included, and they should come out and fix that. I believe we have enough maintenance staff, but if not, we can definitely hire some more. I believe we also have some maintenance staff that are not assigned to anything, and we might even just hire one more of those. Hire one more maintenance staff to come in at 10 PM to 2 AM, and they can be assigned to none, so they'll just wander around. If there's something that needs more attention, they can fix that up. Looks like we also might need some more cooling for this room. Definitely something I did not consider because we already have quite a lot in here. But yeah, we might need to add a little bit more, which means we might need to actually delete some of these windows and rebuild them. So we'll jump into build mode really quick and say delete you, and that one is fine. We'll basically just copy the layout from the other side. So we need windows, and I believe that is the wide windows down here. And we'll say to there, and wide windows from there to there, I believe. And then we can just copy paste. Actually, if we select both, we can do both at the same time. We might need to delete this singular one or just move it. We move this down, whoops, rotate it that way. It can sit at the end there, and we might do the same. Actually, let's move it there and move this one. Rotate it the right direction, and we'll do the same for these two. You can just move down here, and then we can have a little bit more room for the window. So we'll select both of these and throw them, see, in there, and didn't hold shift. There, there, and there. That in theory should be more than enough cooling. Does still say 24 degrees in there though, so we might need even more, which is very surprising. We'll add another one there. Why can't I add that? Oh, come on now. Go to build mode. I don't know why that won't let me place that. There's nothing in the way. That should work, but I guess not. The other thing we could consider is if we can actually select all of these and not these. We can move everything down one and actually put some in the back here as well. So we'll delete this window. And apparently these things require quite a bit of cooling. So I believe that's almost the middle. And then that. And then we can do the same thing. Copy and paste these over. And hopefully that's enough. Yeah, we're at 18 degrees now. That should be more than enough. I would like it to be a little bit cooler than that, but I mean, with that much cooling in that room, I don't think we're going to get it much cooler than that. And on that note, we have also been nominated for 2 different awards. Let's see what we get. Best employer should always be in the bag at this point. We have so many benefits. And best product, potentially? Second place with Panda Palette 12. So close. So we'll jump back into build mode and we'll place that best employer award. And of course sell the silver because we don't settle for runner-up. Let's see. Who needs this? We turn the walls down. And go up a couple. They've got it already. That one I don't care about. They have it. They have it. And it looks like our new operating system team is going to join in with having an award. Go ahead and pause, and I'm still not seeing this being fixed, which is interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. We should have enough maintenance staff to get that done. They might just not be in yet. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that and see how that goes. But yeah, back to the time lapse. Okay, so I'm still not seeing this being fixed, which is concerning to me because this is definitely in a room group. Yeah, it's group 4th floor. They're both in it. This is also 4th floor, so they should be coming out here and doing that. I don't see why they wouldn't be. This door should work. We don't have like limits on these or anything, so that should be fine. We'll set them to anyone. And they should be able to access them. So I'm not 100% sure why that is the case. Of course, we could just sell it and rebuy it, but I would really like to know why it's not, you know, fixing it. It looks like that might be the only thing out here that needs... Oh no, the wall lamps also need repairing, and I believe they have been at some point, unless they're just really slow to break. Let's see, if we go down a floor, how are these looking? So these ones are being repaired. They're in a group. Are these being repaired? Yeah, it looks like it. So I'm not sure why this fountain is special in the fact that it won't be repaired. The last thing I want to try is just calling a temporary maintenance person, seeing if they'll come out and fix this. And it looks like that is not the case, which is unfortunate. So I think the only real way to fix this is to just delete it. And just say, alright, we no longer have a fountain because you guys can't apparently have nice things. But yeah, maybe we could instead add a little round table in the middle here. And I don't actually want the chairs there. It just came with the copy paste. So instead of having a water fountain there, we're going to have a table. If any of you guys know why that might be the case, that we couldn't manage to fix that by ourselves, I would love to know. But otherwise, we'll just get back to it. Chubby Cord 6 has officially hit the market. It is outstanding and inspiring. Perfect. Love to see it. Hopefully that goes well. And yeah, everything is just running pretty smoothly at this point, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm considering just straight up going into a computer OS as well. I don't see the reason not to. Especially because we have the room. I think what I will do though is I will leave OSC on this floor and then have the OS up here, because I feel like we're going to have multiple offices for our computer OS. I believe that's going to require a little bit more, what's the word? Staff to, you know, get done at an acceptable quality. So I think that's what we want to do. Let's go in and manage our teams again. And this is going to be OS... well, C was console, OS PC 1, I guess, and OS PC 2, and hopefully I don't get confused in the future between our OSC team and our OS PC team. But we'll go ahead and set these colors. I think for a PC, what do we feel? Maybe like a purpley? No, purple doesn't really make sense to me. We go white. White feels like a PC color. Let's do white for those. And we're basically just going to do the exact same process, right? Make sure that they're set up on schedules where they can go on holidays whenever they want, as long as they're separated a little bit. And then of course, we'll also separate their schedules out so that they're good there. Our unused schedule, we can actually just make them work around. Oh, we can't actually. We'll just leave them. I'm sure it's fine. And then we need to go ahead and hire some team leaders. For those, again, sorting by AV1 just so that we get nice people. We have a look here. We have optimistic and generous. Both of these people have the HR and automation skills that I want. So with only 2 options, they are our hires for sure. We really just don't have a choice. So, and welcome in. And OSPC 2 needs a leader as well. And welcome in. Done and done. That means we can go into manage teams, manage roles, make them, you know, actually do the leader stuff. They can be designers and secondary programmers. That'll be fine. We can now go into project management. This will be, oh no, we need a new name. I kind of want it to be the same as our mobile OS, so that it's, you know, similar, like sort of how Apple does it. Apple has like the same name for all of their OSs, but I feel like it needs to be something different than just ZenOS. Maybe like Zen PC. I don't like it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Let me just consult with the ChatGPT for a second. Okay, so ChatGPT says ZenDesk, and that is probably the best name that I could get out of it. I'm not in love with it. If you guys have any suggestions for a cool operating system name that relates somehow to Zen or Pan or something to do with the channel, let me know in the comments below. But let's go ahead and continue setting this up. You guys have seen me do this already, so I'm just going to basically go through this and speed through it so you guys don't have to sit here and listen to me say names over and over again. All right, our what's it called? Project management is set up. Mind blank just went numb there for a second. That's fine. We can go ahead and make sure we also set these up, because that is something that I forgot to do last time. So we'll make sure those are set to the right teams. Like I said, these guys are getting their own floor and they're having 2 separate offices. So they're taking the entire floor up because I believe we're going to need more people on these teams. We'll make sure we also set the leaders up there. And then we can do the exciting part, which is going into develop software. This is going to be ZenDesk operating system computer. This actually doesn't require hardware, which is nice, which will mean we're not going to lose a whole bunch of money while we're printing this. We'll go for a new framework. This will be ZenDesk frame, and that should be all set. No dependencies. Let's go ahead and analyze the market. They want security and customization. So let's go ahead and select a few of these. I'll speed through this as well because you guys don't need to see this again. All right, that looks pretty good to me. We're going for App Store, auto update, multitasking, virtualization, and themes. That should be all fine. We've got 100% expected interest. We're going to need 9 designers and 17 programmers. We can absolutely do that. That should be all good to go. We'll say design teams are, of course, OS PC 1 and 2, and OS PC 1 and 2 for our development team. We need a little bit of everything, just 1 artist as well, which we should definitely keep in mind, and we'll send that to project management. Yes, I'm sure, and this will be ZenDesk. That's good to go. Then we can open this up, look at our info just so that we have the information available to us. Go into manage teams, OS PC 1 and 2, HR management, select everything, best then secondary, 3-star education, 2 at a time. And what do we need here? We have room for 30 people. So that is good because we're going to need that many people. I say 30 people, we have room for 60 people because they're in split shifts. So we definitely have the room. In terms of programmers, we need 17. So that's say like 12, that'll give us 24. That's more than enough. And as far as designers go, we need 9. So let's go for, I don't know, 7. That'll give us 14. Let's go for 8. And then we'll go for 1 artist in each team. We only need 1 artist in total, so that'll give us 2. That should be more than enough. Specializations, again, I believe this is everything. System, audio, 3D, 2D, and network. We don't need hardware. So no hardware in development, that should be fine. And traits, again, no cup holder, no forgetful, and salaries are going to be high. That should be set up and ready to go. How exciting. 2 operating systems in the same video, as well as setting up that hosting, which is slowly giving us business reputation. It's going to be slow, but it is what it is. You can also see our digital distribution platform still has no one on it. It sort of is what it is. We can update the system level, which is something we should absolutely do, so we'll make sure that gets done. But yeah, we now have, that was quick, we now have PandaOS, ZenDesk, and ZenOS, 3 different operating systems. I think in the next episode, we will focus on game development. We still have another floor here that we can absolutely use for some game development, and I think that is going to be what we do next. But I want to let this run just a little bit longer, see if we can't at least get into development of PandaOS and see how that goes. So stay tuned for that. We're just going to jump back into a quick time lapse. Okay, the last thing we should probably do at this point is actually address this problem that we apparently have. I don't understand why we are having this problem. There's clearly still parking available. I don't understand why that would be the case, but how have we done this? Is this easy to expand, or is this something that I want to do later? I think we will. I'm going to jump into a quick time lapse of just adding another floor to this parking structure, and then we can jump back in. I might actually add 2 more floors. We'll see how we go. We'll jump into a time lapse and see how that goes. Oh, okay. So that's not a thing that we can actually do. Apparently this is as high as we can go for parking garages. Unless, can we? No, we just can't go up any further. We are at the floor limit for parking structures, apparently. Apparently you can only go 3 high. So that means at some point we're going to have to unlock a new tile and get some more parking in, which is unfortunate. I really thought we were going to be able to expand this up to, the same height as the rest of this, but apparently that's not the case. So we're going to go ahead and continue to just ignore that notification because there's clearly parking available and they can just deal with it. And they also have a whole bunch of bike parking down here, which is actually almost full. So we should consider potentially building some more bike parking, but apart from that, they can just drive their cars because we're actually giving them to them. Everyone gets a company car worth $4,000, and they should, use them and actually park. The last thing that we want to do here is make sure our lead designer is set properly on our ZenDesk team. And it looks like there's a chance that Hilda is going to be inspiring, but I don't love the odds. We go up to the top. We might even just leave it set to Houston. 61 to 94%. Technically, Rachel is probably better suited, but we'll leave it at Houston. He'll get narrowed down a little bit quicker than Rachel will. Hopefully that will be inspiring. But yeah, let's leave it run for just a little bit longer and we'll be back in just a second. Again, we have burglars and our security seems to be completely ignoring them. I don't know what this is. Oh, that's our maintenance person on a little ladder, also ignoring them. Security. Can you, I don't know, do something about that? Where'd my security camera go? I swear I had a security camera in here. Our security sucks. I don't understand why they're so bad at their jobs. They're just stealing all our furniture, and they got our awards as well. Speed this up just a little bit while they take all of our stuff, and apparently no one cares. I swear they just walked past like 16 security guards. They stole 95 items. That is a little bit ridiculous. They even stole the security camera. What is that about? What are you guys doing up here? That is... I mean, what is that? I mean, we have the money that it doesn't really matter. I'm tempted to turn off burglaries, but I don't understand why our security sucks so bad. They really shouldn't be that terrible at their jobs. We could hire more. We could potentially go into our staff here. And if we search by security, like we have so many security people already. We could potentially do like a 12 a.m. shift and then like halfway through their shift at like 4 a.m. have like a secondary team come in so there's a little bit more overlap. But I mean, that shouldn't be necessary. We should be able to manage security, especially when they're robbing our main lobby. We have a security guard here and one stationed at the door half the time. I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Oh man, it's rough. It's rough. I don't understand what's going on with our security. That is a person that we do need to replace manually. Son Clark has retired from our AV1 team. He was a programmer. If we go into details, he was also pretty good at design, so I'm not sure why he wasn't doing both. He probably should have been, but we definitely need to replace him ASAP. So we'll go into hire a person for our AV1 team. That will be a programmer, secondary design, AV1, and we want them doing system, hardware. No, not hardware. System, network, and 2D. Again, we'll put network at the top. I feel like that's pretty important for an AV1 team. And two options. We'll take the cheaper, the younger of the two. They're a little bit worse at design, but that's not a problem whatsoever. Shelly Kim, you are officially hired. We'll make sure that we have you set up with the right roles. And where are you? Down here. So we don't need you doing artistry or service. We'll mainly get you doing programming and secondary design. That will be absolutely a-okay. And good to go. Let's leave it run for just that little bit longer and then we'll wrap up in just a second. Alright, with PandaGuard 2020 releasing with outstanding and inspiring quality, unavoidable marking from the get-go, that is absolutely what we want to see. The last thing we will do on this episode is just check all of our project managements real quick to make sure that they're not marketing anything that is older than a second update. That one's fine. That one's fine. It's good. It's good. We're still doing a lot of support for stuff that probably doesn't need support anymore, like Panda Palette 6 is so old at this point, but we are still supporting it. I think that's probably good practice, and our support team seems to be handling it just fine. But yeah, that is something to keep in mind. PandaGuard 18 now can be taken over and ended. We don't need marketing for that now that we have PandaGuard 19 and 20 out, just to keep our marketing teams a little bit less stressed overall. That should be good. And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up there. In the next episode, I think I'm going to address this parking situation by just building a plot, buying a plot like over here, and adding a bunch more parking. Hopefully they stop complaining. It is a little bit of a walk. But there's really not much that we can do about that. I don't believe you can build underground parking. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, no. You can't build underground parking, so that's not an option. So I think we'll go ahead and buy this plot in the next episode. I also am considering buying something like this plot and building a whole big bunch of wind farms, just to, again, generate that little bit of extra cash and potentially fill up all of these batteries, because they are currently not being filled up. They're just sort of sitting there requiring maintenance stuff. So that is something that we want to do in the next episode, as well as starting our game development, which I think is going to be fun. If you guys have any name suggestions for the game that we should develop, the type of game, anything like that, please do leave them in the comments down below. And if you don't have anything to say, just leave an emoji for the sake of engagement. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Consider joining the Discord, link in the description. But until next time, happy building, happy developing. Bye, guys.